I'm Randy. I'm an alcoholic. I hope you guys can hear me okay. Your volume from your side has been cutting in and out. Does it sound okay? Okay. So I'm an alcoholic and I have a disease that's called alcoholism. Uh, I don't know why they called it alcoholism. It's very confusing because when you name a disease alcoholism, it sounds like alcohol has something to do with the disease, and the only thing alcohol has to do with alcoholism is that it's the best over-the-counter treatment for alcoholism that there is. It works perfectly. Alcoholism for me is an unsatisfied, fault-finding, opinionated mind. It's coupled with an infantile ego, which is always in a hurry, easily frustrated, and can't stand the word no. So that's what I've got. That's what I've got, and it centers in my mind, and my mind is the power for my life, and my mind speaks to me in my own voice with a lot of authority, and it says things like, today we're not going to eat chocolate, just go into that store and get one chocolate bar, we won't eat it, just get it, and you'll lose weight and it'll be great. And then it says, okay, we got the bar, we might as well have a bite. And then it says, we had a bite, so we might as well just eat this bar and go get another one. Meanwhile, I'm not eating chocolate today. And I don't even know how that happened. Now, it's funny with chocolate. With alcohol and drugs, it's not as funny. And for some people, it's much more serious for just being chocolate. That was not an opinion about the severity of the type of drug I used to treat my disease. But the disease is the same disease, whether I treat the disease with food or drugs or gambling or sex or alcohol. It's the same disease. It's a disease of an unsatisfiable mind. And it says, just have some more and you'll feel better, whatever it is. And I'm always looking outside for something to fix what's wrong with me inside. And I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about you. I have alcoholism. I am at this meeting today because I have alcoholism and my disease needs a treatment. And it says, at the end of the second step, it says every AA meeting is an assurance. Well, it says true humility and an open mind can lead me to faith. And every AA meeting is an assurance that God will restore me to sanity if I rightly relate myself to it, to him, to her, to whatever it is that you want to call God. And if you don't want to say the word God, you can say higher power, and nobody cares, not even God. In my experience. So, just coming to a meeting does not restore me to sanity. Just reading the books doesn't restore me to sanity. Not drinking does not restore me to sanity. The only chance I have of being restored to sanity right now is by rightly relating myself to my higher power. So you can sit in this meeting, there's a couple of things you can do. One is you can have your body here and your mind can take off right out of the room. You can go argue with your boss about money, you can go break up with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, you can go eat a meal, you can go on vacation, you can go do whatever you want. That's one option. The other option is to start rightly relating myself to my higher power. And that sounds like, God, could you be with me? Could you help me be here in this room? I came to this meeting. Could you help me be at this meeting? Could you help me be the kind of man that you would have me be right now, wherever I am, doing whatever it is you want me to do? People get all crazy about what's God's will for me. I can tell you this. For me, right now, God's will for me, right this exact moment right now, is to be carrying the message of Alcoholics Anonymous, sitting in my living room, and simultaneously being in London. I have a really good higher power. I don't know how I get to do this. I don't know how this happened. But this is what I get to do today, and this is God's will for me right now. I have no idea what it is for me later today. But right now, it's to be right here, right now, to be present in this moment. The only time that I can have a relationship with my higher power is right here, right now. And I'm talking for my life. I'm not talking to you. You can do whatever you want. Nobody cares. Because it's all going on in your mind. Your body's sitting here. Your body's being very polite and nice and complying with what goes on in a meeting. Your body is sitting here. It's not making any loud noises. It's not punching anybody in the head right now. But your mind can be doing that. Your mind can be screaming and yelling about why did I have to sit next to this person? And your mind can be taking out a chainsaw and slicing their head off. And while you're at it, you might as well just cut them all to bits. And that can all be going on in your mind. Or you could be putting your attention on a higher power, saying, "Power, could you be with me? Could you help me to be with you? Could you help me be here now?" So I know I'm supposed to be talking about step 9, but for me today, right now, I need to get back to basics. I need to get back to right here, right now, before I could talk about step 9. That's why I say I'm not here for you. I don't do this meeting for you. I don't come here every Wednesday for you. I come here for me because my disease needs a treatment. I need to be exposing the disease. I know these words are coming out of my mouth, but they're just words. It's just words, and it's just knowledge if it's not connected to an experience of having of rightly relating myself to my higher power right now. And this morning I struggled with the disease. Nothing good or bad is happening. Just my mind was talking to me. And I couldn't get it to shut up. And I couldn't sit down and do my reading. I had to do some work first because my mind told me that was more important. And so I did it. And my mind told me, you'll read later or you'll meditate at the meeting. And so I listened to it. And I did not start rightly relating myself to my higher power until we started meditating. And at that point, I've been up now for 4 hours. It's way more difficult to get connected after 4 hours of self than it is right when I first wake up. But I have to have this treatment. I have to treat my disease. Otherwise, it's just going to get louder and worse as the day goes on. And eventually, I'm going to come in contact with somebody or something that's going to push my buttons, and I'm going to explode. And that's alcoholism, with years of sobriety. Now, I haven't exploded for a while. I'm very good at compliance. I can hold it in. I can act right. I can look good on the outside. But inside, I do not have the ability to control my mind. I cannot manage my thoughts. And I need God's help. Just like it says, selfishness, self-centeredness, that I think is the root of my troubles. And all of my troubles are of my own making, and I'm selfish and self-centered in the extreme. And I can't get rid of this selfishness without God's help. I have to have God's help. I have to have God's help. That's why I am here today. I'm hoping that being here and rightly relating myself to my higher power right now, could you be with me? Could you help me? Could slow down my mind and put my attention on something else. It says in the ABCs at the end of chapter, at the end of the of how it works, it says, A, what are these 3 pertinent ideas? A, that I'm an alcoholic and I cannot manage my life. So I'm an alcoholic. I have alcoholism. I have lost the ability to manage my life. The life that I can't manage is my inner life, my thought life, what goes on in my mind. I can't manage it. I can't make myself think good things. I can't do it. I try. I can do it for a little while. I can hold the spring down, but eventually my old ideas are so powerful and so strong and so ingrained and so habitual that I go back to my old ideas. If I try to manage my mind with my own power, because that's where the disease is. And then it says B, that probably no human power can relieve my alcoholism. Well, my alcoholism is in my mind, so you can't get in my mind. You can talk to me, And I can agree with what you're saying, but you can't get in my mind and cure my alcoholism. And I can't get in my mind and cure my alcoholism. And then it says God could and would if he were sought. It doesn't say if he were found. It says if he were sought. So right now it's my responsibility to be soughting. And that is a thing that I can only do right now. I can't sought God later, and I can't live on the soughting that I did earlier. My only hope is to be soughting right now. I don't know how else to say that. And when I do that, I have an experience. I either have an experience of getting some peace and quiet from my self-talking, never-ending, unsatisfiable mind, or I don't. Either this program works or it doesn't, but if I don't do it, I'm never going to come to believe that a power greater than myself can restore me to sanity. That is not going to happen by accident, and it's not going to happen because I haven't drank for a lot of years or a day, and it's not going to happen because I want it to. It only happens when I rightly relate myself to my higher power. Sound like a broken record, but I don't know how else to say it. Sobriety, emotional sobriety, does not happen by accident. It doesn't happen in time, and it doesn't happen in meetings. All those things are important. I go to a lot of meetings. I have a lot of time. I read the books. I carry the message. I work with sponsees. But if I'm not rightly relating myself to God, I am relating myself to self, and I'm getting the results of alcoholism. Every single day is exactly the same. Every single day, this day, I need a treatment. Now, so that might sound heavy and like bad news, but the good news is that when I do it, I have the best life I've ever known. I have a sense of peace and quiet. I have a purpose. I love my life. And today I can honestly say that most of the time I love my life. Most of the time I'm living in a relationship with my higher power. Most of the time I'm able to make a decision to turn my will and my life, my thoughts and my actions over to the care of God as I understood Him. And I understood Him because of what I did in step 2 to come to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. So that's what I have to do today in my life. That's what I have to do for my life today. Or I get to do. Some days it's easier, some days it's more challenging. And then if I'm living that as a way of life, I do 4, 5, and 6, and I see who I am, and I become entirely ready in 6 to have God remove all of my defects of character, my whole story, everything I think I know, all of my old ideas. I let go of them absolutely in step 6 because I've seen in step 4 and 5 how they just hurt me. They just destroy my life. They hurt me and everyone around me. And in step 7, I start with that humility of seeing who I am and how my behavior affects others. I humbly ask Him, that's God again, I humbly ask this thing, something, to remove my shortcomings, where I fall short of doing God's will on this planet today. And then if I'm going to go out and do God's will on the planet, I'm going to have to first clear up the wreckage of the past so that everyone's not running around calling me a hypocrite and dragging me back down into my resentments. So I make a list of all the people I've harmed, and I become entirely ready to make amends to them. I become filled with forgiveness and the readiness to forgive others. And in that readiness to forgive others, I'm able to forgive myself. You know, in the Lord's Prayer it says, "Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us." So I am forgiven to the extent that I forgive others. So my forgiveness doesn't come in me praying to God to forgive me. My forgiveness comes in my willingness to forgive others. And that happens in step 8. I become entirely ready to forgive others for anything that they did and take responsible for my side of what I did. And that's the only way I'm going to change. That's the only way this new character is going to become solid. And then in step 9, it doesn't say I run around to everybody I hurt and I say I'm sorry. It doesn't say that. It says I'm going to make amends to those people I've harmed, except when to do so would injure them or others. So with some care and some prudence and some good timing, I'm going to go out with this willingness to forgive, and I'm going to go find the people that I've hurt in the past, and I'm going to ask them, I'm going to tell them how I think I've hurt them. I'm going to ask them if there's anything else that they need to tell me about how I've hurt them. And then I'm going to ask them what I can do for them to make their lives better today, because in the past I helped ruin it. And I'm going to make amends. Make amends means to make it right. Now, I might never be able to make it right, but I'm willing to. I'm willing to do whatever I feel intuitively guided to do, so long as it doesn't hurt them or others. And when I do that, when I'm done with step 9, when I've made all the amends to all the people that have popped up in my mind that I'm conscious of, that I've harmed, I am clean. I can go anywhere in this world and look anybody in the eye. And I'm clean. And there's no more of that sense of shame and guilt and that big wave of impending doom following me around everywhere that I go. And that helps me more to be the man that God wants me to be today. Because I'm not trying to hide and lie and manipulate and cover up my past behavior. I've taken complete responsibility for it and made amends wherever possible. And today I am the man that God says I could be. And this is all 12 steps. What does that have to do with not drinking? We haven't even talked about drinking. Drinking is the thing that made it okay for me to walk around on the world crushing the life out of everybody and everything I came in contact with, and still go out and hold my head up. Because I could blame it on alcohol. I could blame it on my dad or my mom, or I can blame all my bad behavior on other people, on circumstances. And all that blaming and all that stuff keeps that alcoholic life alive and makes it possible for me to drink again, because the disease is so strong. And it says, look, you're still lying, you're still cheating, you're still having old behavior, you're just not drinking, so you might as well drink. And then I drink. And if I don't drink and I'm doing the bad behavior, I blow my head off. A lot of people die drunk and sober in Alcoholics Anonymous. This is a serious disease. It's a rapacious creditor. That means it takes my soul without my consent. So again, Power, could you be with me? Could you help me be the man that you want me to be today? Could you guide and direct my thoughts? Could you protect me from my mind? Could you help me be the man you want me to be? And then I have a chance. I have a chance at having a beautiful day where I meet beautiful people and I have a beautiful life. And that's what Alcoholics Anonymous is offering me. Alcoholics Anonymous is not a way to stop drinking. It's a way of life where drinking isn't necessary. Anyone can stop drinking, you just don't drink today. But if you have a mind like mine, by 3 days from today, my mind's going to be talking so loud that drinking is going to be necessary. But with the 12 steps as a way of life, today, drinking is not necessary. So that's what I have for today. And I appreciate you allowing me to share my life with you today, and to be here and to be in London and Los Angeles at the same time. It always blows my mind. And I'm really looking forward to hearing your experience with step 8 and 9 and how that changed your life and your thinking and your relationships. Or if you need to talk about alcoholism and the way it's affecting you positively or negatively today, you can talk about that also. So thanks for letting me share.